What's happening, everyone? TomGorian here. Welcome to episode 18 of the F124 Alpine to Glory series. Today we're getting ready for round 2 of the second season of the ATG here in Jeddah, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Check out the previous video, the first race of season number 2, and also follow the playlist and subscribe to the channel for more F124 career mode content. As you can see, we started out quite solidly in the previous race. We got 4th place and we had a double points finish, and we just went over some of the changes in the off season, the main change being the high inflation for upgrades. However, we do have a major aerodynamics drag reduction upgrade coming for the Australian Grand Prix in the next episode. However, there's really nothing to really talk about, so without further ado, let's get straight into qualifying.
Welcome to Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar, but let's see who will be the fastest of them all. It's time to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's time for qualifying.
So you join us here in the middle of our first run in qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and I don't know what it is about this circuit, but I absolutely love this track. I don't know if it's just the nature of the high-speed corners or the close barriers, but just the way that you can just throw a lap at this circuit is just so satisfying. And as you can see, obviously first lap, 2 green sectors as we enter the final corner on the end of our first lap. Practice pretty much went well. I'm starting to do just simulating practice sessions now, and I'm only doing the race strategy. However, overtake across the line as we do a 28.1, and so far it's an Alpine 1-2, Gasly in first, us in second. However, with just under a minute to go, we've been bumped down to P7. I do believe Gasly has been bumped to P10, or I think he's in the top 5. I'm not really sure, so hopefully Gasly can actually show us what he's actually made of here in qualifying for round number 2. Entering the chicane, first 2 corners, we've already gained just under a 10.5. We lose a thousandth of the exit there as we head towards this tight and twisty section of sector number 1. And it's very important that you have a good balance of just aerodynamics as far as the wing values, but also the long straights for the second half of the lap. And as you can see, as we cross the delta, purple sector 1. So far, it's looking good. All we have to do is just nail sector 2 and then just finish the lap off in sector 3, especially with the final corner. We slightly hit the wall there on the exit of the hairpin as we get ready for this fast right-hander, 4th gear into 5th gear, just slightly hold the throttle. Perez does a 27 flat. So, in order to get pole position, we're going to have to do a 26.9, which is, even for my standards, that's going to seem quite a bit of a reach. But as you can see, as we exit sector 2, we are now 6 tenths up as we approach the final corner. Hopefully, if we don't do a Max Verstappen, we could get pole, but we need to gain another 2.5 tenths. Even that won't be enough. Entering the final corner, 3rd gear, hard on the throttle. As you can see, it's going to be an 8/10 improvement just about. Closest run to the line on the left hand side, a 27.2 I saw, which puts us P3 on the grid. So unfortunately, it's not pole position for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but it is our highest qualifying of the season in 3rd place. As you can see, Perez gets pole and we lose it by just under 3 tenths. We outqualify Max Verstappen and also Lewis Hamilton. Gasly in P11, so I don't think Gasly improved on a second run, which is a bit of a shame. But however, our chances to win this race has just increased. Speaking of the race, let's get straight into it.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world. Jeddah, one of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca. One of the biggest ports in the region, and now host to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at a topographical map of the Jeddah Street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Thomas, Verstappen, Hamilton, Stroll, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Gasly, Norris, Tsunoda, Albon, Ocon, Bottas, Joe, Vesti, Magnussen, and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, delighted to say that we're joined today by Anthony Davidson. Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How do they change the story today?
You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Welcome to the grid here in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The start is a little bit important here because it's not really the longest run from the start to the first corner. The strategy, of course, tyre wear is not really an issue with this track, so the game is recommending a medium to hard. However, if we do have the gap between the cars around us, I might be thinking about a medium to soft. I might have to extend the medium stint by 1 or 2 laps just to make sure that the softs go to the end of the race. However, that could be the right play, especially if all of the other cars are on the hard tyres. This setup, I've slightly increased the front wing by +1, and yeah, just to help with the aero balance of the car. However, without further ado, let's get straight into the formation lap.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
So according to the game, a 1-stop from the mediums to hards or a 2-stop from softs to mediums to hards. Wouldn't it make sense to do a double soft hard or maybe even a double soft medium if you are doing a 2-stop? I'm not really sure what the game's smoking these days. However, the formation lap is coming to an end. Our podium is our best chance. We scored 4th in the previous race and we've qualified 3rd today. However, can we get a podium here for 5 red lights here in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix of the Alpine to glory? Lights out, away we go in Jeddah. Perez and Sainz gets a decent start. We don't get a good start. Sainz takes the lead in towards turn 1. We're going to be stuck behind in 3rd place. Sainz is in the lead with us and Perez battling out. Verstappen, Lance Stroll is in 5th place. That's a great start by the Canadian Aston Martin driver. But as we enter the tight and twisty section of Sector 1, it's pretty much single file for all of the remaining cars. And right now, pretty much on the first 2 laps, I want to try and get used to the car, how the car behaves with heavy fuel, and then hopefully, if we do have the race pace, try to stay with the Red Bulls. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen for long because Max Verstappen is all over us as we cut now in towards the end of lap 1. And the one thing I've noticed is how overpowered our car is with our ERS. We do have the best engine as we do have a goal completed. I don't know what that is, as we're going to ascend it around the outside of Sergio Perez in towards turn 1, and that just like that, we are in 2nd place here in Saudi Arabia. That looked easy with no DRS at all, and considering that the Red Bull is the quickest car on the Alpine to glory grid, we've just absolutely mugged off Sergio Perez as we set the fastest lap of a 30.8. However, Perez is going to try and come back and was nearly 3 wide in towards turn 1. Perez tries to overtake us and also Sainz, but Sainz, he's on the soft tyres, so that's a bit of a bold strategy from the Spaniard to start this race on the soft tyres, believe it or not, considering that the tyres are going to wear out on heavier fuel. However, on the back end of lap 3, we make a bit of a mistake there. Now, Verstappen is just over a tenth behind us. It looks like Verstappen's going to overtake us, and we might lose the podium position. Yes, we do. However, we do fight back in towards the final corner, and we do retain P3 in Saudi Arabia. However, the battle is still not over. It's Sainz versus Perez as we come across the line for lap 4. I'm going to get involved with DRS. Sainz is saving battery. However, there's not really enough room in towards turn 1. A little bit of a loose back end on the entry of turn 1. Sainz has the outside line. It's going to be wheel to wheel again between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Perez has the drag, and Perez, oh, we nearly hit the wall there. Just on the rear brakes. The rear brakes locked up on the entry in towards turn 4. We nearly lost our front wing there. Thank goodness we didn't. However, lap 4, we're going to send it on Carlos Sainz on the soft tyres, and that was a very important move considering that around about lap 4, 5 and 6, that is pretty much the drop-off period between the softs and also the mediums. And as you can see, Sainz is doing quite a good job of pretty much keeping with us. However, we don't want to let Charles Leclerc, his teammate, pretty much catch up to us because we're battling so much. Hamilton overtakes Charles Leclerc. We go a little bit wide, but Perez gets a monstrous exit out the final corner, so we're going to open the DRS, and we are on 60% ERS battery as we begin lap 5. Perez goes defensive. We're going to go on the outside once again in towards the first chicane, and we do make the move stick. We retake the lead once again of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and I think this race just highlights how powerful or how overpowered the DRS is and how important having the DRS drag reduction system is in F1 24. As you can see, Sergio Perez retakes the lead once again, and in this, first chapters of the race, the first and second chapters, it's really about swapping and changing. There's been multiple lead changes. Perez was leading, Sainz was leaving, I was leading lap 12, and I think there might be some pit stops. I know we were supposed to be boxing on lap 11. Verstappen is in. He's going to go onto the hard tyres. Sainz boxes from the softs as we overtake Sergio Perez right before turn 1 to retake the lead again of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Russell and Stroll, Gasly has stayed out, and we're going to stay out, I think, 1 or 2 more laps, because what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and go from the mediums to the softs to try and counteract the Red Bull's pace on the hard tyres. But as you can see, tyre wear, it wasn't actually that bad, considering pretty much on lap 13, the tyre wear was on, I think, the front right, around about 31%. So realistically, I could have probably done an extra 2 or 3 laps to maybe push the range to 40%. However, I really wanted to try and see the soft tyres, and as you can see, there's confirmation there. The mediums didn't wear that much. I think it might have been just the setup of the car and how I'm running the setup a little bit. However, coming into the pit stops, mediums to softs, and 2.5 estimated stop time as we go. Watch out for Sergio Perez and watch out for Verstappen. We're going to get released. There goes Perez, and I think Verstappen's going to follow him. We're going to go on the left-hand side. We do jump Max Verstappen, so that is second place. So we didn't lose that much time, considering pretty much the Red Bull's pace, which pretty much confirms to me that we should have stayed out maybe 1 more lap. I mean, yes, we might have lost position to Verstappen. However, we would have been on a lap and a lap younger, fresh set of softs. However, lap 14, we do overtake Sergio Perez to take the lead once again of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We do have a purple second sector. Perez is actually going to come back at us, and we're actually on overtake. Perez, does he have DRS? I don't think he does have DRS, but Perez tries to come back at us on the entry of the final corner, and that wasn't going to work, as we do set, I think, not a medium sector 3. Verstappen does a 30.2. Perez takes the lead. We're going to try and once again regain it, and we do, simply because we got so much grip on these fresh softs, and we are just not a match for Sergio Perez, and that is confirmation of a 129.8 fast lap of the race on lap 16, and I believe we go a little bit wide in towards turn 1. The next lap we're going to do a 29.7, and we are pretty much starting to get quicker. The gap is extending around about 0.6 of a second, simply not because of the straight line speed, but because of the slow speed medium corners. And pretty much the tyres, the soft tyres, they they weren't bad or nothing, they just kind of fell off after 3 laps. I mean, I was expecting to go 10 laps with the softs. They fell off after 4 or 5 laps, so pretty much with 4 laps to go, I was kind of wondering as far as like, okay, how long are the soft tyres going to last? Fortunately for me, the soft tyres made it to the end of the race. However, Perez and Verstappen, they were closing in on me. Thank goodness though, the race is about to end, because if they had one more lap, they would have maybe overtaken us. But as we round the final corner, up to the pit lane, we win our first race this season.
Yes, 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 guys, yes! Come on, boys! Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserve that race win. Well done, mate.
They've delivered an outstanding performance today under intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
The race victory and fastest lap as well today really shows the level of dominance that this driver had over the opposition. Dominance from the start to finish, and it's for the rest of the competition to try and catch them now.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race this was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Alpine team for their excellent win today.
Mega job all weekend there. Mega job to the team and the car. The car felt absolutely wonderful to drive, and personally with my confidence around here, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a league race or a career mode race, I feel like I can win any race around this circuit. The Red Bulls, yeah, they were pretty much quick, you know, in race trim, but because we went on the softs, we were able to pretty much create that gap of 4.5 seconds, and then even though they closed that gap down to 7/10, they didn't have enough laps to pretty much overtake us for the race win. But we take our first victory of the season, 26 points, fastest lap and the race win. It's Red Bull 2-3, Sainz in 4th, Russell in 5th, Hamilton 6th, Leclerc in 7th, Piastri, Norris and Alonso round out the top 10. Gasly 13th, 30 seconds off the pace, and he did a 31.1. Wow, that's embarrassing from Pierre Gasly. I thought he might have had more pace, considering that he was in the fight for pole position in qualifying. But as you can see, rivalry won against Yuki Tsunoda. I'm not really bothered about Yuki Tsunoda. I'm not really asked, to be honest. 86 racecraft, 83 awareness, 84 pace, and 82 focus as we head towards the third race of the season. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave like, share, comment, and subscribe for more F1 24 Alpine to Glory career mode content. And yeah, first win of the season. Hopefully we can try and get many more as we advance in Season 2. In a bit.